Welcome to our weekly segment we call Check Your Schedule with 17's entertainment expert Rick Bentley, and I'm Elena Rusk. And I always love this time of year when we've had a hot day already behind us,
yes,
but it's still really spring-like for all of the things that are happening around town.
Yeah, luckily that's passed us for a little while, and we can enjoy some outdoor activities for now.
We know the heat is lurking though, but for this next week at least, the forecast looks really great. And there's so much going on.
Yeah. So we do need nicer weather, and that's up to you.
It's
on you.
We'll blame Kevin for that. So let's start with several fun events happening around Bakersfield for the week ahead. This is a cool one. The Well Comedy Club is now at Eva's at the Fox Theater.
They host several events there each week. There's free admission. It's every Tuesday. As David May and Nathaniel Webb host the weekday, get it, W-E-A-K, day show. And stop by on Wednesday to enjoy the midweek crisis comedy. It's a free stand-up and open mic night. There's also the pregame free stand-up comedy show each Thursday. Now that's hosted by Anthony Zaragu. Now each night the doors open at 6 p.m. with fun beginning on stage at 7 p.m. And I will tell you this, having worked at the Fox Theater, Eva's is really a cool place.
It is.
It's intimate, but it's big enough that you can get a nice crowd in there. It's fun to go with a group and enjoy some local comedy. It's a fun place to go.
And get some guts and do the open mic night. It's pretty cool. Like stand up and have some fun with the crowd.
Yeah. Well, I'm not that brave.
I'm not that brave either,
no.
But have fun with it if you are.
Okay, and on Thursday, we're hosting our annual community blood drive right here at Compassion Corner.
This is a very cool one, and I just set up with our assistant news director. I'll be donating blood live on air.
Oh,
just
better
to show
you than
people,
me.
right, that it's not that scary. I hate needles. Let me be the first one to tell you, the phlebotomists at Houchin are fantastic. So I feel very comfortable. I'm up to 3 gallons donating now in my dad's honor. We lost him to pancreatic cancer in 2014, and there was a blood donation that brought him back to life. He was very gray. He felt terrible, and he laid there quietly in the chair getting a transfusion. And during his second transfusion, his pink cheeks came up, and he opened his eyes and he looked at me and he goes, "I feel better." Yeah. And it was just the most beautiful, most amazing moment. And from that moment on, I promised him I would always donate. So I'm now at 3 gallons. It takes about a half an hour. You get free snacks.
That's
and then,
it, yeah.
Right? This event makes it even better because honestly, I close my eyes, I take a deep breath, and then I'm done. About 10 minutes later, donating blood. This week, Houchin Community Blood Bank has announced they have a $2,500 Disney gift card giveaway that they're doing with us here in partnership at KGET for this month-long blood drive. So all successful donors during the month of May will be entered to win that giveaway for the $2,500 Disney gift card. But one lucky winner will be selected at the end of the month. If you come to our special blood drive this Thursday, donors who participate get entered twice for that drawing. So that's pretty cool. We're also going to have live music and some food. It's a day-long celebration from 5 a.m. to 6 p.m. Just stop by, donate blood, and save lives.
Do you know if entertainment experts qualify to give blood?
I think so.
Well, maybe I'll see you there.
If you have any questions about if you qualify, go to hcbb.org.
Okay.
And they have like the height, the weight, the age. If you have any pre-existing conditions, you can fill out your questionnaire and boom, you're ready to donate.
Okay.
I like it. It feels refreshing.
Okay. Also on Thursday, the State Ballet Theater of Ukraine is coming to the historic Fox Theater where they will perform the Sleeping Beauty Ballet. That's at 7 p.m.
Now, this is a traveling company. They'll present the full-length ballet Sleeping Beauty in 2 acts with 1 intermission, showing the world's most beloved history to Tchaikovsky's music. Told through classical dance, the tale of the evil fairy cursing Princess Aurora for 100 years. She falls to sleep, and then with a single finger prick on her 16th birthday of that doomed spinning wheel, only a sweet kiss from the prince can break the spell to awaken her. It's a bewitching and dark tale that comes to life in this exquisite production. You can see from the promo video they sent us how amazing the costuming is and the sets. And Rick, like you mentioned, you work at the Fox a lot. You volunteer there. What's it like when you see these big road shows coming in for one night only?
You know, I tell people the great thing about seeing a show at the Fox is that it's big enough to get these kind of shows, but it's not so big. There's not really a bad seat in the house. I have a lot of people who say, well, I hate to be in the balcony because it's a ballet. I said, No, actually, the balcony is a great place because you can see all the footwork. Sometimes when you're down too close, you can't see the footwork of the dancers. And so I tell people it's not a bad place. One other tip for you, if you're buying tickets for the Fox, the air conditioning is the best up in the balcony, and the acoustics are great up there. So don't be shy. Buy a balcony ticket.
I like the balcony seats. We had the Nutcracker there. I performed with Natalia Mallory's company back in December, and the bottom house was all sold out. And so we as dancers wanted to go watch the second act in the balcony, and I loved it because as a dancer, you're taught to project up and out. So I was performing for the balcony, sitting up there watching our dancers. It was like making eye contact. It was so cool.
Yeah. And again, if you haven't been to the Fox, and I'm surprised how many people show up and say, I haven't been here since I was 2. It's like, it's a beautiful facility. It's just, again, these are the wonderful opportunities we're getting here, and you should take advantage of them.
And it's such a historic theater that has come back to life in recent years thanks to the foundation. And they keep improving it every year.
Lots and lots of hard work that's going on there continuously.
Oh, it's so cool. So again, that's happening this Thursday. Doors open at 6. The show itself, the ballet, begins at 7.
Yep. Okay, also this Friday, the Bakersfield Firefighters Burn Foundation invites you to our annual Send a Kid to Camp fundraiser. That's a lunch at the Outback Steakhouse.
Now, all proceeds help to send local youth who are burn survivors to Champ Camp. It's a life-changing week-long summer camp through the Alyssa Ann Roosh Burn Foundation. You can stop by Outback for this fundraiser on Friday anytime from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. For $25, you get this great lunch with Outback's famous chicken and steak, a side, a salad, a dessert, a drink, and a plate of blooming petals per table. What was pretty cool was during the pandemic, the foundation knew that they couldn't host this big fundraiser, but they still wanted to support sending kids to camp and doing all their fundraising. So they did a to-go option. That was so popular, they keep it going. So if you don't have time to stop and sit and eat lunch, go ahead and put in your takeout order.
Talk about win-win. I mean, again, you're helping somebody. That should be enough to motivate you to do it. But you're getting this incredible meal out of that. So everybody wins in this. And again, we're talking about a cause that is so important, and they need as much funding as possible. And this is just, I know there's a lot of people out there with their hands out and everything, but this is one you should not pass up.
I know a young local burn survivor, and her mom was telling me that after the initial burn recovery, they still need special creams and garments, and this foundation helps them buy those things that are not covered by insurance and helps to support the kids. Champ Camp itself, they don't have to worry about having scars or being different from other kids. They're all there together experiencing the same things.
Yeah, it's a wonderful cause, and we sometimes forget how much falls on the parents. I mean, when you have a child that's been injured, you take so much on you, then having to worry about the financial part of it and all this. So if this can help a little bit, you've done a great thing.
Absolutely, and a huge thank you to the foundation and all the firefighters who will be the ones serving you lunch on Friday, which is always fun because they joke that they're terrible at it, but everybody's having a great time and they're really quite amazing.
Yeah, if they do their day job well, I don't care what they do when they're serving.
Exactly, you just bring me a warm plate from the kitchen and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Now also on Friday, get ready for the 29th annual Battle of the Badges.
Okay, it's happening at the Kern County Fairgrounds. And the excitement ramps up as our brave officers step into the ring for an electrifying showdown. Okay, this is no ordinary boxing match. It's a fierce fight for a cause that truly matters. Now, the event has brought out police, sheriff's deputies, correctional staff, probation, public defenders, firefighters, and the DA's office to show off their boxing skills, all for a good cause. General admission tickets are $30, and your support helps fuel the Bakersfield Police Activities League. This is creating positive opportunities and quality educational programs for at-risk youth.
It's just so cool because these are officers and firefighters, the Battle of the Badges together. But they've been training for a long time. They're not just jumping in and horsing around. This is a cool boxing match.
Yeah, they take it seriously, and I can imagine this being a great competitive spirit in there, that if you're with the sheriff's department or the police department, you want to show off the best you can.
So. And it's very competitive. Pretty cool. Also on Friday, Marlon Wayans brings his Wild Child Tour to the Fox at 8 p.m.
Okay, this show was originally scheduled for November 2nd, but it had to be rescheduled to this Friday, which is May 16th. Now, Marlon Wayans is an actor. He's a producer, a comedian, writer, and film director. I think he even caters some of the work he does. His films have grossed, get this, $1.14 billion in domestic box office and nearly $1.8 billion in global box office. Now, as a stand-up comedian, he is selling out nationwide and adding shows every weekend.
It's pretty cool. So again, like you mentioned, this is at the Fox. It's a very intimate theater,
Yep.
which is so cool. And you hear Marlon Wayans, and you're like, oh yeah, I remember some of his movies. But I thought this was cool that we wanted to share with you because he has a new movie coming out.
That's right.
So if you missed seeing him this week, he'll be seen on the big screen in September, starring in the psychological thriller Him from Universal Pictures and Jordan Peele's Monkey Paw Banner.
Okay, it's the story of a promising young football player who joins an isolated compound to train under a dynasty team's aging quarterback.
And that's about all we know about the movie so far, but they're calling it a psychological thriller. So I'm thinking that doesn't mean horror, and Jordan Peele has been really getting into kind of that suspenseful movie genre. So are you having big hopes for this, you think?
I always have big hopes with Jordan Peele. He's hit or miss. I loved his first film. I thought his second film was a little bit of a letdown. And so it'll be interesting to see where this one goes. Also, it's interesting that you cast a comedian in what could be a very serious role, but sometimes playing against those sort of characters sort of makes the film work even better. So I'm really excited about seeing this, if I can make it through all the summer movies.
I know, right? That's September. We have so much happening between now and then.
Call me back in September. I'll talk then.
Perfect. So with that, let's now turn to Saturday. The Bakersfield Police Department collaborating with country music artist Luke Bryan, who's coming to town.
Luke Bryan. He's stopping by the Shafter Select Farm on May 17th for his farm tour. The Officer David Nelson Memorial Scholarship says it will be at the concert to talk to attendees about Officer Nelson, who lost his life in the line of duty 10 years ago. Attendees will also be able to purchase the Thin Blue Line flag and enter a raffle for a guitar that has been autographed by Luke Bryan. Now, proceeds will directly benefit the scholarship.
Now, I think it's so cool that Luke Bryan is known as a country star who really never let go of his country roots. Right. So he wanted to do this farm tour. Apparently, I was talking to Brent Michaels over at KUCZ about how Luke Bryan immediately said Bakersfield. Like, he thinks of us as an ag town. But not only does he want to come and just do a farm tour here and think about our community, but he said, what can I do to support a charity there? And the Officer David Nelson Scholarship said, we do our Boots and Brews. It's a similar concert like yours. Can we team up? And Luke Bryan apparently immediately said, yes. What can I do? How can I promote this? That's very cool.
You know, over the years, I've interviewed a lot of celebrities from a lot of different genres, and I've always found that people who are in the country music business are the most giving, big-hearted, caring people of all these groups of celebrities I've talked to. I can always count on them to, you know, if you need something, they're there. Exactly. And I don't know what it is about the genre that attracts that kind of person, or you become that kind of person when you get in that genre. Either way, anybody who's in the country business, you can always count on.
I love that. And keep in mind, again, the concert itself, they're expecting thousands of people. So they're going to have a lot of security. You're going to have designated areas to park. Just behave, and then Luke Bryan will keep coming back.
Exactly.
There you go.
And we want that.
We do indeed. Also, there's more happening this weekend.
You can pop on by the California Living Museum this Saturday. That's when they are going to celebrate, the zoo's going to celebrate its 42nd birthday.
Now, even the animals will be getting in on this celebration. Here's video from past years. They get special treats made just for them. Guests can head to the California Living Museum any time on Saturday between 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. for this big birthday bash. Kids ages 3 to 12 get in for just $5 with a paying adult. There are so many activities on this year's schedule. They'll have a variety of nature-related and civic organizations there to provide party guests with information and giveaways. They'll have yard games and activities for the whole family too. It
depresses me that I'm older than the zoo, but that's okay. On a lighter note, the Central California Children's Railroad will be running from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. and wristbands are only $2 per person, and that gives you unlimited rides.
So many kids love that train.
Oh yeah. Okay, there'll be performances from the Bakersfield Boogie Babes. That will be happening at 10 a.m. And Smokey Bear will be the featured guest for the day. Now, guests are welcome to purchase lunch on site at the Hunsucker Brothers Food Service. However, they are also encouraged to just bring your own picnic to enjoy during your visit.
So much fun. So I take my kids because my kids love the zoo. I love it too. As an adult, I have such a blast there.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's one of those great family activities that everybody can enjoy. Those are always so much fun to find and point out. That's what we always like to look for.
And it says museum in the name because these are all California native animals that cannot live in the wild. They're injured or they have other issues, and so they get to live their life here, and then we get to not only give them this wonderful life, but learn from them and about them and celebrate California's history and wilderness.
Yeah, and while it's designed to sort of teach young people, I learn so much when I go. So education, you never get too old for education, trust me.
Exactly. So we're going to keep clipping along because we have so much going on this weekend, like I mentioned.
Okay, also on Saturday, the Kids Fest comes to the Kern County Fairgrounds.
Kids Fest is a fun-filled day for babies, toddlers, children, tweens, and families of any age to play and learn about the important aspects of raising happy, healthy kids. There will be several attractions from bounce houses to train rides, games, food, shopping, entertainment, and more. Get your tickets at bakersfieldkidsfest.com. And then also on Saturday, head back to the marketplace for a free silent DJ night beginning at 8 p.m.
Okay, a silent DJ night is an exciting and immersive way to enjoy music and dance. Participants will receive a pair of wireless headphones, which they can use to tune into different music channels provided by the DJ. Okay, this allows everyone to dance and enjoy the music that they love without any loudspeakers. This creates a unique atmosphere where you can groove to your own beat. Now bring the whole family, bring some friends, take a date, whatever, for a night of dancing and fun. Just pick up your headphone rentals at the check-in table in the main central courtyard.
I think that's pretty cool. And then this is one more for Saturday event that we wanted to mention. You found this one that I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, Tati Lopez, who has, get this, 14 million TikTok followers. She's known for her bold and candid personality. Will be at the historic Fox Theater for a show to start at 7:30. Now, she's been making waves with season 2 of Sueta Lenguaya. I probably butchered that, I apologize. But this now features her mother, Donna Silva. Now, you should expect discussions, hilarious moments, and there will be a live Q&A session where audience members, get this, can ask Donna Silva for her signature advice or hear Tati's empowering tips on leveling up.
That'll be a popular one indeed. And then finally, our last event to cover for the week ahead on Sunday, you can head to Hart Park's Nature Center to learn more about reptiles with Doug Lemons, the snake wrangler.
Okay, law enforcement agencies and the public utilize Doug's skill to relocate unwanted snakes. Aren't they all unwanted?
Right.
Okay, so stop by to meet him and hear more about his reptiles. It will be at Hart Park's Peacock House beginning at 2 p.m. Sunday. You can learn more at kernaturecenter.org.
I know a lot of little kids who would absolutely love that, but I'm like you, I'm like, ooh.
No.
So thankfully you have the snake wrangler there wrangling all of them. So now let's talk about some big happenings on TV this week.
You know, I'm always looking for programs that are entertaining for both adults and kids. And this week I have found 2 I want to spotlight. Now, first off, it's the animated series Miraculous Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir. Get this, it's celebrating its 10th anniversary. Now, Christina V., who provides the voice for Marionette Dupin-Chen, who's also Ladybug in the series. It's a series that focuses on 2 Parisian teenagers who transform into the superheroes Ladybug and Cat Noir, respectively. They're there to protect the city from supervillains. I got a chance to talk with her about this milestone event. See, it's always great to talk to you. But I do want to focus on something very special. This 10th anniversary. Can you
Yes.
wrap your head around it? You've been, this show's been going that long.
It's really crazy to think about. Most of my jobs I book and I go in for maybe one day. If you're really lucky, you book a lead and you do a couple seasons, and you just never know what kind of job you're going to get, really. But to be on a show and have it go for 10 years is really incredible. But more than that, it's been growing.
Yeah.
I feel like every year it gets more and more popular. I was just in Australia and New Zealand, and everybody knew Ladybug. Well, the people that my boyfriend always introduces me is like, oh, she's Ladybug. They're like, oh! So we met a lot of people who are fans of the show. It was really exciting.
Glad he's proud of you.
Oh, he's so proud.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, as far as you're concerned, does it feel the same doing the recordings now as it did 10 years ago? I mean, the show has grown in popularity, but have you grown?
So the first session, maybe that first season, I still had those initial nerves. I wanted to get it right and make sure I was doing a good job, and I hope the client likes me, and I hope the fans like me. But the beauty about doing this for such a long time, but also as being an actor all these years, is that's gone, and now I'm just completely able to be with the character in these episodes, in all these scenes, and I'm not that kind of internal critic is gone, which is nice. It's really nice. I feel like I can just jump in the booth and we're ready to go.
I feel like there are multiple reasons why the show's so popular, but the one that stands out to me is what separates it from so many other animated efforts is the love story. I mean, you literally see these characters kiss, and I will admit, Fred and Daphne never kissed, and even though he had a van, and we never saw any romance there. But do you feel like that romantic element is just one of those elements that people see in it that they don't see in other shows?
Yes. So throwing it way back to Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon had a similar theme of romance, while simultaneously there's this greater threat going on, but there was always like that core of the romance. And when I was a kid watching that, I was really drawn to this dynamic of the romantic stuff and the heroic stuff, and Ladybug does that so beautifully. When I was auditioning for it, in fact, I told the director I felt like this could be Sailor Moon for this generation, and I think in a lot of ways it has been. So yeah, I love the romance. Everyone loves the romance.
Oh, of course. But not to give too much away,
Yes.
that romance is being tested a little because of a secret that's happened. Do you feel like it's different?
Yes, it is very different in two big ways. One is the secret you're talking about, but two, we're actually seeing the relationship dynamic and watching them both adjust to this new boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, Adrian and Marinette. And I think that kind of changes the dynamic for Ladybug and Cat Noir too, because they still don't know who they are. So I think there's a little bit more. It's just different. It's different for everybody now.
Yeah. Okay, so over the 10-year span, there have been 6 seasons with 145 episodes. And you know what? The series shows no signs of slowing down. Now, episodes are now available at 11 a.m. Saturdays on the Disney Channel, and if you have the streaming service of Disney XD.
And there's a Ladybug Cat Noir movie on Netflix that my daughters love. They love the cartoon itself, but the movie is quite fantastic.
And there's plenty of merchandise.
There is indeed.
So you may be spending a few bucks on it, too.
Yeah, and it's one of those cartoons, like you said, that kids and families enjoy. My 3 daughters love this cartoon. As an adult, I enjoy watching it with them.
Again, one of those great shows that both adults and kids can like. I love finding those.
It's just cool, and I liked hearing from her as well. So now we have one more show to talk about this half hour. It's another family-friendly series.
Yeah, it's Acoustic Rooster. It's on PBS Kids. Now, the series is based on the best-selling book by Kwame Alexander. Now, the 20 Acoustic Rooster Jazzy Jam shorts are designed to introduce viewers ages 3 to 5, to the world of the arts with an emphasis put on jazz music.
So cool.
He gave me some insight into all that jazz. One thing to adapt your book to a live production, but this has the element of music, and so you had to bring in this, this musician to add another level. Was there real concern about that, or again, I knew he was the right guy for the role?
I knew he was the right guy for the role. I love music. I can't sing a lick. I think the challenge came with all the other producers who I felt like I know more about music than you all do. And so that again allowed me to sort of get in this space of being vocal and sharing the things that were important to me about the music, but also trusting other people's visions and sort of that collaboration. And I think I found that place, that happy medium.
Yeah, I'm glad you did, because it really works very well. And having watched the hour special, I'm convinced that if we had to define your writing style with a musical term, jazz would be it. It just feels like it's a natural sort of connection. Am I reaching too far?
You hit the nail on the head, my friend. Whenever I write, I've written 44 books. Whenever I write my first draft, I'm listening to jazz music. I'm listening to bebop and hard bop. I can't have any words because it would be too distracting, but I need the music. I find that jazz is the music that fuels my imagination, it fuels my creativity, and it fuels my writing, hands down. So this show, which is based on the book that I wrote, was sort of a natural thing. I think you got it.
Yeah. Hey, what I was really, really impressed with this show was the fact I've seen a lot of programming for kids, and a lot of it is good, but I was amazed at how you treated the audience as very intelligent. You used terms and words in this that even I think about 10% of the high school graduates couldn't define. I'm thinking of panache, for example. So is this sort of your sort of point of view of, people are smarter than a lot of people want to give them credit for?
Well, I think to your point, the idea was first, how do we create a show that will be able to benefit from co-viewing? So kids will like it,
right?
And the parents will like it for a different reason, and they can watch it together, and it can be this sort of familial community moment. And then the other thing I think is I don't talk down to kids. Mm-hmm. I believe, like you said, that they are smarter than we think they are, or we,
right.
And so there was some pushback on some of the vocabulary, but those were some of the things that I stood up for, and I was very vocal about, and that really has come to define a lot of my writing, using words that require a little bit more thought, or that kids won't necessarily know at first. But like my father told me when I was growing up, Rick, those 3 words, look it up. Part
of the definition of what you're doing is to entertain and educate. So doesn't that educate fall into the category of the using the big words, of introducing a musical style that I'm sure a lot of young people have never heard?
Absolutely. Ultimately we're trying to teach.
Right.
But we're not trying to be didactic. We're trying to do it in a way where the kids don't even know they're learning. We're trying to do it in a way where kids want to learn more. They want to watch more. They want to read more. They want to learn more about jazz music. So I think that's ultimately the goal, and hopefully we accomplished it.
Oh, he was so dynamic. So we have 1 minute left, and I wanted to talk to you about anything cool that's coming to TV in form of NBC's lineup.
It's an interesting lineup for the fall because they're getting away from a lot of scripted programming. I found that very well. I think the main thing to notice is starting in October, NBC is going to devote a whole night to NBA basketball.
Okay.
And we've not had that before. We certainly have had occasionally a game or here too, especially during the playoffs. But it's interesting that NBC is going to have a regular night of NBA basketball to go along with their already Sunday night where they're doing football, and then on Saturday where they're doing a lot of college football.
Yes.
So 3 of the 7 nights for NBC come this fall will be sports related. It's an interesting change.
Okay. So there you have it, our entertainment expert with all the information. And we'll meet you again next week for another edition of Check Your Schedule.
I'll be back.